Thanks, ma'am. So I'd like to welcome you. My name is Katie Dutcher. Anybody I don't happen to know or forgot in the last few days, my name is Katie Dutcher. I'm one of the founding teachers of the studio. And I thank you for being here. This is, the name of this time together is our celebration of the studio, our 6th birthday. And we know that the studio, when we say the studio, it's made up of you and all of us here, and of course more who are not here. And so what we do in this yearly event is celebrate the studio, is celebrate each other. And so I'd like to just begin by taking some breaths to settle and to land here. And so I invite you to settle back in your seat. Let your eyes close if you'd like to, or just looking down. And I'll begin by ringing the bell. So letting the sound of that bell just invite you to connect with your body as you sit here, and especially to connect with your breath. If you'd like to, for a few breaths, just slowing down the breath so that you can feel this in-breath coming in, expanding through your body, and then a long, slow out-breath, releasing, maybe even releasing more than the breath, blowing out any tension or anything that's here with you now that's not serving for this moment. Continuing to breathe, and now to allow your breath to return to its own pace. Letting yourself sense through your body, mind, heart, that you are here in this moment. You have arrived. And when you hear the sound of the bell in your own time, letting your eyes open. eyes opening and coming to the screen in front of you, maybe even through the magic of your device, seeing if you can catch eyes with somebody here, taking a look at all these faces. Welcome to those of you who just came in. We're glad you're here. And again, my name is Katie Dutcher. I'm one of the founding teachers here at Monterey Bay Meditation Studio. And welcome to our 6th birthday celebration of the studio and all of us who make up the community of the studio. We so appreciate our community. And for me, I always really enjoy the fact that our studio birthday is also so close to the new year, that it's naturally this time of kind of marking and looking back and looking forward. And so that's some of what we'd like to do today. I want to begin by sharing a little bit about some significant events at the studio as a whole in the past year, and then some significant things that are new in this coming year. A couple of things from last year. One thing that we were excited about was you may have seen in our online community area weekly posts that have begun from Diane Maradian. And she's one of our beloved community members who is overflowing with invitations and engagement around self-expression and creativity. And we've loved seeing her posts, and symbolically, this kind of represents something that we're welcoming and excited for more of, which is community members sharing gifts with each other. And so this is one instance of an ongoing community contribution, which we appreciate. Also, in this past year, Mary Ann was really influential in driving us to create a part of our online community that is the emergency response network. And so this was intended to help support us in this area coming through fire season. And thankfully, I know we're all grateful in this area that it was not a season where we had a whole bunch of emergencies and things to respond to in that area. And we're glad that this is created and here for us. It continues to be a supportive area. If you've not seen that, it's in the groups part of the online community, and you're welcome to join that group if you want to make sure to receive things that come out through that area. And last but not least, for me most, is this person you can see here on your screen, Rebecca. I don't want to make you shy, Rebecca, but I just have to say that this we were so excited to hire Rebecca in July as community development coordinator. And what that has meant is just all kinds of things. Mostly on our community, when you see something coming out through a person called MBMS admin, that's mostly Rebecca behind the scenes, just making lots of things happen so that we can be aware of what's going on. And it would be hard for me to overstate what a helpful and supportive and lovely thing it has been to have Rebecca as part of our team. So thank you. Yay, Rebecca. This has been a lovely, lovely addition to our team. In the coming year, and in this year, one thing that has changed, some of you have seen, is that our weekly gathering has found a new home in terms of a time and place. We are now meeting on Mondays at 5:30 Pacific time. And so this is our weekly gathering almost every week of the year. Mary Ann and I jointly share the hosting of this gathering. And it's just such a nice time to come together as our community, share and meditate together regularly. It's a lovely way to start the week. You're more than welcome to be there, and we're happy for that to continue in what I'm guessing will be it's I can't say forever home, but that's a lovely time. I'm liking it so far. You've also seen, I know this because you're here, that we have a new registration system. And behind this change was, I would say, an intention of ease for you to sign up and make sure you're able to find your Zoom links when you want them, ease for us organizing events, the fact that you hopefully got a message with the Zoom link an hour or two ago without us doing anything is very exciting to us. And so I personally would welcome any feedback you have, if it is easier, if anything that you find to be good or not so good about this, because we are still learning all the ins and outs of this system, but we're happy to have made that change. And again, I think I've saved the best for last here in terms of something new, which is kind of on its way, which is our new, it's kind of an organizing theme behind our offerings. I would say this organizing theme has always been there, but we're getting it clear for ourselves and hoping to make it clearer to everyone in the and out of the community of what is the structure behind all of the different offerings that we offer throughout the year. And so what we call this structure is called pathways. We've identified 6 different pathways, which all of our offerings are relating to one or more of these pathways. And the 6 pathways are mindfulness, self-discovery, relationships, spirituality, outdoors, and evolution of consciousness. And we are currently writing, kind of putting words around all of these 6 different pathways to share what we mean when we talk about these pathways, and then also to show what are the different offerings that fall under that pathway. This is exciting to us to really feel like there's clarity behind kind of what we're doing and why. And so you're going to be hearing a lot more about this in the coming months, weeks and months, I would say. Probably hearing even more about it today, too, as we kind of each share personally as well. So these are just a few of the things that we're planning. I get excited, too, because so much of what we'll be talking about next year at this birthday, we won't have planned. It will have arrived, and so that we're making space for what arrives as well. So in a little while, we're gonna share more from teachers and invite you to share too. But I'd first like to turn it over to Jen to lead us.
Thanks, Katie. It's great hearing about all of that wonderful stuff coming into the studio. So Katie helped us really land with some breath. And my invitation for all of you now is to really start to bring your body into presence here. And we're going to move our body a bit, and then allow our bodies to support us in getting to know one another a little bit more. And I'll lead you through this, and it'll be very simple, and I'll be guiding you the whole time. And this is an invitation. So anything that I'm offering, if your body doesn't want to do this, or if you're not comfortable, that's completely okay too. Just go back to the breath and be present that way. But our bodies are moving all of the time, whether or not we're aware of it. So we're just going to bring in some conscious presence to our bodies right now. So I invite you to just start by moving your hands and just noticing the state of your hands right now. Are they cold? Are they warm? Are they a little tense? And just start moving them. And notice that maybe as your hands move, your arms just kind of naturally want to go along for the ride. And so if that's the case, just start moving your arms any way that you want to. And you can kind of do it off screen if you're shy. And in order to move your arms, your shoulders have to get into the mix a little bit. So just let your shoulders really join the birthday party here. Shake it out a little bit. I'm feeling some tension in my arms and my shoulders, so nice. And perhaps give your shoulders and your arms a break and just let that movement start to flow into your head and into your neck. Finding any tension there and just gently, gently, gently letting your head move in a way that feels good to stretch. Maybe some movements saying no with your head. Maybe some movement saying yes, as small or as expanded as feels good and okay for your body. Perhaps a little wobble like those bobbleheads. And actually, if you're up for it, go ahead and just scrunch your face up. Your eyes are closed when you do that. No one can see you. Just feel all of that muscles in your face and then feel what it's like to just release that and let it all melt away. And then gently start to invite your spine to move. I start by a little swaying back and forth. And that swaying might turn into more twisting motion. And again, just noticing what feels good for your torso. Maybe you want to twist all the way around and stretch. Maybe your spine wants to bend forward a little bit and release down that way. And as you move your torso, naturally that goes down into the pelvis and into the hips. And I invite you to just rock back and forth on your hips, just feeling your booty from side to side. And then maybe that moves into some circles. And then moving down into your lower body, just stretching your legs out where you're sitting. If you can, if it's available to you, lifting your feet up and circling your ankles. maybe bouncing your feet up and down, letting your legs kind of wiggle around. And then taking a few breaths and really just stretching, moving your body in any way that would feel good as a whole. Breath continues to support your body's movements. Letting that inhale and exhale be there as you just stretch. And if you're not already, sometimes it happens naturally that you close your eyes when you start to move your body just to focus more internally. If that hasn't happened already, I invite you to close your eyes or kind of lower your gaze and just notice how your body wants to move when I invite you to move like water. How does your body respond when I invite you to move like water? And it can be the smallest movement. Doesn't have to be big. It can be in one part of your body. And then notice what happens when I invite you to move like the wind. How does your body respond differently to the invitation to move like the wind? And just notice if you're thinking of movements or if you can just kind of let your body naturally respond. None is good or bad, but if you can, trust your body that it knows what it wants to do in response to these ideas. And how would your body move to the prompt of moving like fire? Nice. No wrong way to move. There's no wrong way to move. You may have thoughts that these is silly. Just meeting that with compassion. And so now I invite you to let your body move in response to this prompt. How would you like to move into 2022? How does your body want to move into this new year of 2022? And see if you can feel into one movement that really reflects and feels right in your body. One movement that you can repeat over and over. One movement that captures, that feels right to you about how you want to move into 2022. And you will be invited to share this one movement with everyone. And so just find what feels good. And gently bring yourself back to some stillness. Open your eyes, reconnect with our wonderful party members. And one by one, I'll invite you to share your movement. And again, it is an invitation. If you would prefer not to, you can simply say pass, and we will receive and accept that without any judgment. And after you do share, I'm going to invite everyone at the party to join you in the movement, so we all get a feel for how we're moving into the new year. So I'm going to start with you, Marianne. Marianne, how would you like to move into 2022?
I'm ready. So, deepening and emerging. So there's a diving in deep, 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 scooping up from what is ready to come up into the light, and then just radiate out into universe.
Beautiful. So let's all do that together again, and we'll follow you.
So diving in as deep as you dare, and even a little bit further, just out of curiosity to see what's there. And then coming up, sensing your embodiment as well as the allurement to grow and to expand and surface and blossom and bear fruit that radiates out into universe.
Beautiful. Thank you, Marianne. And you may have a bit of narration like Marianne does, and you may not, and that is okay as well. There's no right or wrong way. Rebecca, would you care to share how you're moving into 2022?
Well, my inclination actually was to try to, I know you wanted us to move, but I felt like I wanted to be still and contained. So that was like, I kind of just, I don't know, just pulled myself in.
Yeah, so let's take a moment and do that. Just pulling yourself in. Still and contained. Thank you. Jeanette, would you be willing to share how you're moving into 2022? Good to see you again, Jeanette.
Yeah, nice to see you. Yes, I am going to take a deep breath, go all the way down to my feet, and I was rolling my stomach to unblock my area which it gets stuck in. And I want to roll it down so I can be part of this earth.
Beautiful. So let's all take a deep breath, moving down to your feet. And rolling your stomach, whatever that means to you. In and out, all the way down to the earth. Thank you. Nina, would you care to share how you're moving into 2022?
Sure. So my first instinct was to open up and receive,
Mm.
and kind of sit there for a little bit. And then every so often kind of like gather the heart energy and send it out.
Wonderful. So all together again, we'll open up. And then every once in a while, gather that heart energy. Send it out.
Send it out.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Paula, would you care to share how you're moving into 2022?
So I sort of cheated because earlier this week, I went on the website and saw Katie demonstrate the Movement Monday, which was to start with palms up and then kind of go like that. And that totally resonated with me in kind of clearing out and bringing up the crud from last year.
Yeah.
And dissipating it into the air and then bringing it back down and doing it all over again, bringing the positive back to the core, I guess is what it is. And I've been doing that every single day since I saw it, and it just feels so good to me. So that's it.
That's beautiful. That's not cheating at all. I love that you found something that really resonates for you. So that's wonderful. So we were doing it with you, but let's do it all together one more time. Bringing that crud up and out. Then bringing the positive back to your core.
And in the video, she talks about doing it 3 times. And I find that I do it 3 times, and then, you know, a couple hours later, I'll go, oh, that felt so good, and do it another 3 times. So anyway.
All right.
For 2022, that's my movement.
Love it. How about you, Patty? Would you care to share your movement for 2022?
Yeah, I would. So my word for this year is feminine freedom and play, because it's been way too serious. So I actually, when I was doing this movement, I had a song in my head, and I have that song too. So here it is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, into the heart.
And receiving. And then we receive.
And then we receive.
There you go.
All right, dance party.
I love it. So yeah, It's been too serious.
I love that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you bringing music into the mix too. Vi, would you care to share how you're moving into 2022?
Yes. So this is symbolic as well as literal. So just put your palms up and look at them as receivers and carriers of the day. And then with deliberation, put them down and shake them out. Just feel the shaking all the way down to your fingertips as all of it leaves, just leaves. And then bring it back up and look at your hands again as different now. This is something I want to do several times a day in my office this year.
That's really wonderful that we're ever changing from moment to moment and that we can intentionally encourage that shift. Can we try that one time more all together? Bringing your hands up, really seeing them as receivers and holders, carriers, and putting them down, shaking them out, letting go. And then bringing them back up and seeing them anew. Thank you, Vi. Katie, care to share your movement? How are you moving into 2022?
Well, it's very similar to Rebecca's movement. It's that stillness, and I had my hands on my heart, and then that shows me that there is a little bit of movement, the heartbeat and the breath movement in the stillness.
Nice. So breathing with your hands over your heart and noticing that movement that is happening underneath the surface of your heart. Thank you, Katie. And I am moving into this new year with a desire to want to maintain some balance that I found and then gently expand. And so this movement came naturally with that. Thank you. I appreciate you all being willing to be in your body and to share in this way. And it was really wonderful to witness how all of you are moving into this new year and to invite that in as well. So thank you. It was nice to get to know each of you a little bit more in that way. And I will turn it back over. Am I turning it back over to you, Katie? Okay, back over to Katie.
Thanks so much, Jen. Very fun and practically nice for my body too. I'm excited to move into a time now of sharing together, sharing with each other that look back of what has lit us up, something that has lit us up in the past year and is lighting us up as we're in this current year and looking forward as well. And so we will kick it off with us teachers beginning to share a little bit personally, perhaps, and also as it relates to our work with the studio. So for myself, it was helpful to me to think about those pathways that I just mentioned, kind of orienting toward those pathways. One of the pathways that I hold most dear is the self-discovery pathway. And pretty much everything I teach, the seed begins in my own life and what feels right to me, my learning, my exploration. And so with self-discovery, that is certainly true. And I've been so happy in this past year. I believe this was the year. It seems like it's been happening forever in a good way, but I think this was the first year to begin the Nourish and Flourish monthly sessions where we have a little sampling of meditation, movement, and reflection, journaling. And it's been such a nice group that has developed around that monthly practice. And so I've been so happy about this, as well as the continuation of Flourish and Bloom Collective, which is our ongoing group that meets weekly. And it has become such a supportive, warm group and warm experience to be part of. For me personally, 2021, a lot of what I experienced was drawing closer and deepening connection to the natural world. And so that moves us into that other pathway of outdoors. And for me, I started the year with some body limitations and things to investigate. It was scary about my body. And then as soon as that kind of cleared up, then it was replaced by a wish to do whatever I could do with my body and get out there and enjoy having a body. And that led me to do a lot of hiking, which eventually led to my first backpacking trip. And I expected to love it, to be away from roads and, all of that. And I did. I loved it so much. And then that brought me into a training that I attended, which is ended up with a certification of being a mindful outdoor guide. And so this is that moment now of bringing some of that deepening of connection to the natural world into the offerings that I'm excited to bring to the studio. And so what I would say I'm most excited about that's coming up soon is one piece is together with the regional Monterey Peninsula Regional Parks District, is these audio experiences where we'll be connected via a phone Zoom call, and everyone participating will be in their own outdoor environment, and I'll be leading us through connecting deeply with the natural world. That's a new format for me, the audio only, and I'm excited about it. I've experienced it very much as a participant in my training, and it was really powerful. So look out for those. The first one is January 22nd, and then there's one scheduled in February and March as well, and I hope it will continue. We'll see. And then the other piece is a course that's coming in February called Sit Spot, Cultivating Belonging. And this is related to one of the practices that has been so powerful for me, especially in the latter part of the year when I was doing the training, which was I did it just now before this event, walk out my door and go to this bench that is right near my house and just sit there. And I do that many mornings before or as the sun is coming up, just sit there. And it sounds not as powerful as it is to just sit there. I have begun to feel so much more connected to the place where I live and all the other beings, most notably birds, lots of different birds that come through that area. It has just been so rich to see what stays the same. These the trees, sometimes even patterns that I get to know. The crows always fly over at a certain time every morning, but then also what is totally different every morning, the quality of light, the clouds, the air temperature, and so much more. So I say that because I'm very excited to invite and support anyone who would like to start or deepen their own sit spot practice. It's easy, it's convenient, and I just am excited to share the power of that and have us experience that. I know there will be more coming, but those are just some of the things that I'm excited about that have me lit up in this year that we are in. I think I'm passing it to Mary Ann.
Thank you, Katie. And thank you for this invitation to explore what was lit up in 2021. And in my world, 2021 was more than lit up. It was a year of being on fire, where I was breathing in, just doing a lot of personal discovery and growth and taking courses and things like that. And then breathing out this offering into the community. So in the personal growth, in the breathing in service of Earth, I completed a certification in ecotherapy, which I'll bring into my psychotherapy practice and also into some of my offerings through the studio, and also a certification in California natural history, because wanted to do that because my relationship with Earth is so right brain oriented, where it's a feeling and a non-linear orientation. Like I step outside the door and my head just kind of goes, ugh, because I'm just heavy on this side. So I needed to like get a little linear, a little linguistic, learn the names of things. And so that's what had me pursue that, for me, very difficult course, because it's not the field that I usually play in, but I feel more balanced now. And I also began a deep dive into climate psychology, of how people are responding with the changes that were happening, and how to support people through that response curve. There's an arc there that happens, and that then once we've moved through the emotional responses of the anxiety and the grief and the anger and the guilt, then we actually can bring consciousness and a steadiness to the way that we are responding and the actions that we're taking in our adaptation with climate change. So I did this through courses and study groups and some conferences. And then another piece of the personal growth was in service of human beings. I engaged in multiple courses and book study groups on equity, diversity, and racial justice, with a particular focus on the Black and the Indigenous experience in the past, historical and current experience in the United States. And that too will be showing up in some of my offerings in the community. And so in 2021, there was stepping into new territory for me in two arenas. One was an online conversation with Dwayne and Colleen Elgin. Dwayne is a world-renowned author and visionary with regard to culture and climate. And Colleen, his wife, is a filmmaker that focuses on helping all beings. And so this offering actually was brought together the biggest attendance for any Monterey Bay Meditation Studio event so far. There were somewhere around 40 or 50 people on the Zoom call, and Rebecca, thank goodness, was a tremendous help in keeping that flowing. So there will be another one of those online conversations on March 25th of 2022 as the culmination of a book study group of Dwayne's most recent book, Choosing Earth. And also 2021 was the first offering in the Contemplative Cosmology Sitting with the Stars series. This is so cool. So it's and again, Rebecca, the tech hero, helped coordinate all of this. So people from wherever people are, similar to what Katie was referring to, an audio only on your phone Zoom call. And this is an offering with astronomers astronomer Stephen Martin, who is in the mountains of Western North Carolina, and myself, who's over here on the West Coast. And so Steve, as the stars are setting in the East Coast, they're rising over here in the West Coast, and he guides us. He's a poet. He guides us through a journey of what's in the night sky. And then I'm like his backup singer, offering meditations that help us connect with our own qualities with the cosmos. And it was trippy. And so this is a series that will continue. We have another Sitting with the Stars in March, and then we're going to do a lunar eclipse where we're all watching the lunar eclipse on May 15th. So watch for those. They're just super cool. And here on the West Coast, we don't have to stay up until 10 o'clock at night to do this, whereas the East Coast folks have to stay up a little later. So, hang on a second. So after, with all of this personal growth and offering, after, being on fire last year and actually almost frying myself, this year I'm cooling it down to, as the movement indicated, to go deeper and then to support what's emerging. Yesterday, I spent the afternoon with members of the Amamutsan tribe, tending their garden that's up in San Juan Bautista. And as I was there and digging in the earth and greeting the earthworms that would show up, and just taking in the aroma of the soil, it was just like deep. It was quiet, and I could just deepen into connection with earth. And so living as we are in the midst of this climate change, and with COVID-19 playing, its variations that keep us dancing with uncertainty, I'm sensing that we have an opportunity that we've never had as a global community here on Earth. And we have the opportunity to imagine and to cultivate and to support a new way of being in relationship with ourselves and each other and the world. And so through deep listening and deep adaptation, deep ecology and deep community, individually and collectively, I sense that we have this crisis is also an opportunity if we're in relationship with it in a conscious way. And so I'll be beginning this journey of 2022 with the foundations of mindfulness, an introduction to mindfulness course that starts on January 20th, but this is be a little bit different from the intro to mindfulness, so course that I've offered in the past, in that it is really focused on finding that way of being in the eye of the hurricane in mindful relationship with all that's going on around us. So I'll just end with a quote from Thomas Berry in his book, The Great Work. The historical mission of our times is to reinvent the human at the species level, with critical reflection, with community of life systems, in a time developmental context, by means of story and shared dream experience. So come on, dive in and emerge together. Jen, would you share?
Thanks, Marianne. So what lit me up in 2021? First, fiction reading. Somehow I lost connection to reading fiction somewhere along the way, and I rediscovered it. And I love fiction books. So I'm having a blast reading fiction. and don't plan on stopping anytime soon. That was really fun to get back into. And I also, 2021 for me was about balance. I tend to always be thinking about what my goals are, what my next thing is, how I'm going to grow and expand and all that. And it just felt good to let go of that and find just being okay, doing my thing, maintaining what I've founded for myself, both personally and professionally. So that was really, it was nice. My offerings coming into 2022, I'm really excited about because I've found over the past 2 years, kind of getting into a place of short-term, how to get through kind of thing. And want to invite dreaming again, want to invite starting to think big picture, starting to think about, as far as your creativity can go, what this world could be, what your world could be. So my offerings in this beginning of the new year really reflect that, and they kind of build on one another. So my first 2 offerings are actually freebies, and they're both visualization meditations. Their visualization meditation is based on the premise that really letting yourself meditate on something that you want to bring into your life is an active step in creating it, and it teaches your body and your mind to orient towards that vision. If you can't imagine it, if you can't even let it exist in your mind, how do you expect it to exist in the world of the physical realm? So visualization meditation is based on that premise. So I'm offering that twice. One is coming up soon in January 19th, and the other is the end of January 28th. And then building off of that concept, I'm offering a destiny retrieval class. This is based on the shamanic premise that time isn't linear. And so we can grab a snapshot of our future, our destiny that we want, and get connected with it and get clarity on it. And again, use that to help us move into the future that was meant for our highest potential. So that course is taking place, or it's one day. It's taking place on February 4th. And then building off of that, so the concepts of visualization, the concepts of destiny retrieval, both are part of this course that I'm offering starting in mid-February around manifestation. So manifestation is the idea that you can actively create the reality that you want to exist in. It became really, really popular with things like The Secret. And if you've talked about the law of attraction or heard of the law of attraction, that's a way of manifesting things. And so I approach it based on my teachings with Andean healers. And I kind of go through also some of the misconceptions that can come with the act of manifesting things in your world. And so that course it's on Saturday, and it's actually an in-person course, and it starts on February 12th. All of these are on the website. And again, they build up on one another. You don't have to take all of them, but if you want like a little taste of me and of my style and my approach and of this kind of theme, feel free to join any one of those to just kind of get a sense for what the course on manifestation will be like. And then Additionally, I'm excited that I'm continuing my monthly shamanic journey meditations. So some of you may or may not know that for I think 2 years now, this might be the third year that I do monthly shamanic journey meditations. And shamanic journeying is based on an indigenous practice of honoring that there's a world beyond the physical world that we usually honor as our reality. And journeying is the practice of connecting in with that invisible energetic world for the sake of gaining a larger perspective of reality, a more like an enhanced version of wisdom and understanding that can come when we have this connection to the energetic world. And so I do that the first Sunday of every month. It's a new time this year, starting at 10 o'clock. So the next one's at the beginning of February, and then there'll be another one at the beginning of March too. It's a monthly offering. And typically the first Sunday of every month that happens, and that's virtual. So yeah, I'm excited about all of that. And I'm excited to really, now that I have this foundation of balance, start dreaming again, bringing the creativity, bringing the big picture in, not just kind of, okay, if I watch this Netflix show, it'll be tomorrow sooner. So yeah, thank you. And now we'd like to hear a little more about what is lighting all of you up. So if you are up for it, you could share one thing that lit you up in 2021 and what something that maybe is exciting you and lighting you up coming into the new year. It may or may not overlap with your movements. And if you have something, go ahead and unmute yourself and just jump in. Go ahead, Nina.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. So it's hard to say one thing that lit me up in 2021 because there were so many things that happened. It's a long year. But in general, I would say it was a year of a lot of expansion and growth and a lot of like integrating past selves back to me. There's a lot of things that were just kind of like reintegrating and lots of moments of enlightenment and just kind of moving forward with my personal journey. And I'm actually, what you said actually reminded me of something that I got back into reading again, even in general, fiction and nonfiction. Like I used to be an avid reader when I was younger, but between being a single mom and having working full time and stuff, like I didn't really have time to read. And then I finally like made time to start reading again. I just realized how much I miss just sitting down and reading a good book. It really is a lot. So doing that more, just that alone is really big. So just so much just integrating new knowledge and just really expanding things going forward. And then 2022, I am kind of, well, I'm going to try to slow down a little more because I was so much into my growth that I kind of overextended myself. Got really tired. So I'm like, okay, we need to pace ourselves a little more. And I also I did the first monthly journey meditation with you, and the message that I got just immediately as soon as I was going to put out a question of where should I focus on my personal growth this year. And the immediate response I got almost before I finished asking the question was, relax. Everything's going according to plan. So I'm like, oh, okay. So now I'm just going to kind of focus on just kind of surrendering and going with the flow of the universe and just see what comes.
Beautiful. Thanks, Nina.
Balance. So thank you.
Thanks. Go ahead, Jeanette.
So in 2021, I felt like I was waking up. I lived most of my life just kind of living in the world. And this last year, I'm starting to wake up and see that this is a world that I am in and that we all are, and I'm not in it, I'm with it. So I was waking up out of kind of hibernating. In this 2022, I hope to be more awake. I have a tendency to not be awake, and it's new to me, so it's a constant practice. And by sharing it with you and being part of you, that is the difference. That's what made it happen. So I appreciate that, and I tend to be part of it and work with that. So I look forward to 2022.
Beautiful. Thank you. Anyone else want to share one thing from 2021 and 2022? Go for it, Paula.
So the beginning of 2021, I found myself completely disconnected, and I kind of liken it to I went over a cliff and I somehow grabbed a hold of these roots and stuff from a tree and just was clinging there. And what I found, I have always been more of a loner, but I found that with the pandemic and the beginning of last year, that you cannot be an island of itself. And I don't know how to get off that island. And so 2021 was basically clawing myself up off of the cliff. And I feel like I'm belly down on the earth now, and I'm there, but I still can't figure out where my tribe is. And so 2022 for me is to invite that energy from dogs and cats and people and the outdoors and whatever it is that brings that connection of my connection, I guess, because I've never realized that I needed that. And I don't know exactly how to do that. That will be for 2022 to figure that out. So there you go.
Beautiful. And when you're open to receiving that connection, you'll find it. Anyone else care to share one thing lighting you up from 2021? One thing you anticipate lighting you up for 2022? Sure, go ahead, Patty. Make sure you unmute yourself.
Well, last year I was in a struggle of how do I find balance and find time for me, because my business was so busy and I wanted to start I already had the intention of wanting to slow down, and the business was just so revved up, and I found myself not being able to handle stress like I could before. Before it wasn't stress, it was just allow the flow, ride the waves. This is amazing. It's great. But it was just like this struggle. And, like the highs weren't the highs anymore. And so I didn't even see a way of how I could do it, because it wasn't like I was unwilling personally. It was just like the business was there and how do I do it? And then things started slowing down. And then this is what's really lighting me up this year, because I feel like I've already found it. So in end of October, I live in Marin County, but I bought a place on the beach here. and it's like a second home, and I'll be renting it a lot. I mean, and it's been a lifetime dream, and I'll be renting it a lot. I'll be using it a lot. And I was still kind of afraid, like, how am I going to find the time? Well, I've basically taken off for the last 3 months, and it wasn't off. It was like, I found the balance. And so I'm just so lit up about that. And I didn't know. I mean, it happened. It happened. And I guess it was, kind of a dark night of the soul in some ways. So now it's about, like I said, feminine freedom. It's about me. And, because the masculine is like being, doing, getting, achieving, and the feminine is allowing and all that. So that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Thank you. I can feel it coming off of you.
I'm happy. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks. Rebecca, do you care to share anything before I toss it back to Marianne?
Sure. I feel like 2021 for me was a year of expanding and letting go of a lot of fears. I think that in general, I have a tendency to stagnate because I see myself as being on a certain path. And when I discover that I'm wrong, I don't let myself change paths or follow what I should be doing. And so I stagnate and I sit with things for too long because I'm afraid of, I'm just a very risk averse person, but that's not good. So I feel like I've tried a lot of new things. Taking this job was one of them, and it's been really one of the nicest and best parts of my year. Like, I really love meeting with Katie every week, and it's just been, I feel like I've learned a lot, and it's gonna hopefully help me continue to grow, and in 2022 sort of maybe recalibrate, readjust to the way things are changing in my life, hopefully in good ways. I think in good ways.
Lovely. I'm glad you're having that experience. Thank you all for sharing those things. And I hope that things keep lighting up for you as the year goes on. And speaking of that, I will hand it over to Marianne with some literal light coming your way. Oh, and you're on mute, Marianne.
There we go. Get self-muted. Thank you so much, Jen, and thank you, everyone. I'm feeling all lit up hearing about, your 2021 takeaways, and then what you're opening to in 2022. Lovely, absolutely lovely. So, in the venue of a birthday party, I like to break out the candles, and so if you have your candle and your lighter nearby, I invite you to reach for them. If you don't have them, that's okay, because your presence is that engages you in the ceremony, and so wonderful. And I'll just walk you through what we're going to do, and then we'll do it. So we'll begin with a one breath meditation to bring us all back here together in a collective breath. We'll do that when I say begin. And then we'll do a go round with each of us sharing an appreciation of aliveness. I mean, because being lit up and engaging, whether we're still or we're moving, that's part of being alive. And so an appreciation of an aliveness that you feel. Let's go right now. Let's do present moment. So an aliveness that you feel at your turn. So you'll pause and just kind of feel where am I sensing aliveness right now? And then a wish for that you have for all beings. And then after you make your aliveness sensation and then your wish for all beings, then you will light your candle and pause for a moment so we can all just kind of take in that wish and join in sending it out. And then after you've spoken, then invite the next person to share an appreciation of aliveness that they feel in that moment, and then a wish that they would like to offer into the world, and then they light their candle. So I'll do a walk through and as to begin. So I am grateful for the aliveness that I feel right now in my body as tingling energy of possibility and potentiality, not just for myself, but for all of us here that are gathered and all beings. And my wish is that all beings remember to slow down and receive the gifts that are streaming to all of us in each and every moment. We're just walking around in a great big miracle. So may we remember that and appreciate that. I also wish my candle will light. There we go. Patty, would you share your aliveness and your wish?
Thank you. I'm also feeling really just physically tingly and just so grateful and expansive. And this is a beautiful session here. And I'm looking at the ocean and I'm just feeling so, the vision. I'm just feeling like there's so many opportunities for everyone here, for us, for the world. I'm feeling nothing but good. And yeah, I mean, I just want it all to continue. I want all beings in the world to be at peace and abundant. Yeah, I'm lost in the moment, so I guess I'm following instructions. I'm gonna light a candle. Yeah, so thank you everyone, and yeah, that's what. Yeah, I just feel great. Yeah, so yeah, thank you. I'll keep it lit.
Do. And Patty, would you invite the next person to share?
Sure. Why is Katie on my mind here? Katie.
Thank you, Patty. As I look at the screen, I'm seeing those light rays come across Jeanette's face, and also, you know, in my own place, even though they're not coming in so dramatically, just feeling alive and appreciating light and warmth. And that would be what I wish for all beings, just this light, physical light, but also that light that we can feel within, and the warmth of belonging. Thanks. And I'm going to call on Vi.
Well, I'm feeling kind of the opposite of some of you. I'm feeling very relaxed, and I'm noticing it because I don't often feel this relaxed. And I'm really grateful for that today. And I wish for all beings to be able in this year to settle into a relaxed way of living. I don't know what all that means, but I'm going to explore it. And I'd like to pass it on to Rebecca.
Well, the aliveness that I'm experiencing, I think maybe most notably is the dog on my lap. He's heavy, he's warm, and I'm enjoying his warmth and hearing his breath, and it just makes me feel good to have him close to me. And what I wish for people, I liked what Jeanette said very much about being awake, waking up. And so I hope that people wake up and enjoy being awake. So I probably won't be able to light successfully. Oh, I may not succeed. I don't know if I'm going to get the match going. And I might work on this for a while, but I will pass it along. How about to Nina?
The aliveness I'm feeling right now is aliveness. I'm really kind of just feeling like, I guess, like the pulsing of my circulatory system, like just feeling the whole aliveness of my body in this moment. And my wish is for more people to learn to just enjoy feeling alive and being alive as a goal in itself. And I don't have a candle, so I'll just send out my heart light. Good. Jen.
Thank you, Nita. I'm feeling a lot of sensation in my uterus, and with Patty welcoming in the feminine, I'm feeling very alive in my femininity right now. And my wish for all beings is that we can exist and respond from a non-fear state, that fear can continue to move out, and that we can respond and relate to one another from a place absent from fear. And I'm in my office, so it's an LED candle. And I will pass to Jeanette.
I'm feeling right now the rays of light coming in, because I can see it and I can feel it. And it's a exciting feeling. It makes me want to do cartwheels for some reason. I give to the universe, my hope is, and my prayer is, for listening, stillness and listening. Stop and be better listeners is what I'm going to throw up to the, not throw up, to present to out there. Let's see. Paula?
So I feel in my body gratitude for healing, and healing emotionally and spiritually and physically, and that surviving, that I'm a survivor and I'm thriving at that as well. What I send out to the universe is the healing of misunderstandings, and a time to just reflect on what other people are trying to say and understand their perception. So I guess it's more about understanding. And that's it.
Wonderful. So holding your candle and your heart energy up so that it can be seen and felt. When I say begin, I invite us all to actually go ahead and unmute yourselves. Okay. So we get that piece and I don't forget it. And so when I say begin, then I invite us all to take a deep inhalation and very gently, simultaneously blow out your candle and whisper, "May it be so." And the it in this is may all of these wishes and the wishes that want to come from the earth and the universe and all beings, may all of these wishes be so. So when I say begin, deep inhalation, gently blow your candle out and whisper, "May it be so." Begin.
May
May
it
be
so.
so.
May all beings feel loved and loving. May all beings awaken to awareness of belonging. May all beings sense and access the miracle of being alive in a field of infinite potential. Thank each of you and all of us for the presence that we embody as our engagement with each other, ourselves, all beings in the universe itself. Happy 6th birthday, Monterey Bay Meditation Studio.
Happy birthday.
Happy
birthday.
We're going to school. We're going to school now. First grade. Thank you all for coming. It's just so lovely being with you in this way and in this celebration of community and each of us individually.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
Good to
Happy
see you all.
birthday.
Bye.
I'm going to go have cake now.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thank you.